Walk into any supplement store and you'll see an entire wall of whey protein. Gold labels, huge tubs, words like pure, isolate, ultra premium, scientifically proven. Some cost $30, others cost nearly $100. Most people assume the expensive one must be better. But after reviewing independent laboratory reports, third-party certifications, ingredient labels, published quality audits, and years of consumer complaints, one thing became very clear. Price and quality are not the same thing. Some brands contain significantly less protein than consumers expect. Some rely on proprietary blends that make it difficult to know exactly what you're buying. Others load their formulas with gums, artificial sweeteners, fillers, or inexpensive protein sources to reduce manufacturing costs while keeping premium prices. Then, there are the companies that voluntarily submit every batch to independent testing and publish exactly what's inside. Those are surprisingly rare. Today, we're counting down 10 whey protein brands we'd think twice about buying, and ending with 3 brands that consistently demonstrate transparency, quality control, and value. Let's begin. Number 10. Body Fortress. If you've ever shopped at Walmart, you've probably seen this giant red container. It's inexpensive, it's everywhere, and that's exactly why millions buy it. The label promises high protein, muscle support, and recovery. But turn the tub around. The ingredient list is much longer than most people expect. Artificial flavors, multiple gums, artificial sweeteners, several thickening agents. None of these automatically make a protein powder bad. But they do raise an important question. How much of what you're paying for is actually protein, and how much is formulation? Independent reviewers have also pointed out that the product mixes inconsistently and varies noticeably between production lots. When consistency becomes unpredictable, confidence usually follows. Body Fortress isn't necessarily the worst protein on the market, but there are cleaner options available for similar money. Number 9. 6-Star Whey Protein. 6-Star has dominated shelves for years. The marketing focuses heavily on elite athletes and clinical performance. The reality is more complicated. Many formulas rely on whey concentrate rather than isolate. That's perfectly acceptable for many people. But when the packaging heavily emphasizes performance while the formula remains relatively basic, consumers often assume they're getting more than they actually are. Some versions also contain long ingredient lists dominated by flavoring systems rather than protein quality. The biggest issue isn't safety, it's value. Number 8. Muscle Tech Nitro Tech. Muscle Tech is famous. The company invests heavily in advertising, professional athletes, scientific graphics, huge claims. Nitro Tech combines whey with additional ingredients like creatine. For some consumers, that's convenient. For others, it makes price comparisons difficult. Are you paying for premium protein or for marketing and bundled ingredients? If your goal is simply high-quality whey, there are often more transparent alternatives. Number 7. BSN Syntha-6. Walk into almost any supplement store, and Syntha-6 immediately stands out. The container looks premium. The flavors sound like dessert. Chocolate milkshake, cookies and cream, peanut butter cookie. For many people, it's the best tasting protein they've ever tried, and that's exactly why it's so popular. But taste isn't the same as protein quality. One serving provides around 22 grams of protein, but also significantly more carbohydrates and fat than a traditional whey isolate. That's not necessarily a problem. It depends on your goal. If you're trying to build muscle during a calorie surplus, those extra calories may actually help. But if you're buying Syntha-6 expecting a lean, high-protein supplement, the numbers tell a different story. Another point worth noticing is the protein blend itself. Instead of relying primarily on whey isolate, Syntha-6 combines several protein sources with different digestion speeds. That isn't inherently bad, but it makes it harder for consumers to compare it directly with simpler whey products. You're paying for flavor, texture, and formulation, not just protein. If that's your priority, Syntha-6 delivers. If your goal is maximizing protein per calorie, there are stronger options further down this list. Number 6. Muscle milk. Despite the name, muscle milk isn't actually milk. It's a protein supplement designed to function more like a meal replacement than a traditional whey protein. Many versions include added vitamins, minerals, fats, and carbohydrates. Again, none of those ingredients are automatically negative. The real question is whether that's what you intended to buy. Consumers looking for a clean post-workout shake often assume every protein powder serves the same purpose. Muscle milk doesn't. Its higher calorie profile may make sense for athletes struggling to gain weight or replace meals. But for someone simply trying to increase daily protein intake, those additional calories can add up surprisingly quickly. Always compare protein per serving, not just the size of the scoop. Sometimes a larger serving simply contains more of everything else. Number 5. Dymatize Elite. Dymatize has built a strong reputation over the years. Its manufacturing standards are generally respected, and the company has been a familiar name among athletes for decades. So why isn't it higher? Because product lines matter. Elite Whey primarily relies on whey concentrate, with isolate included in smaller amounts. Concentrate isn't inferior. In fact, many people digest it perfectly well. But if you're paying close to isolate level prices, it's reasonable to expect a formula that's predominantly isolate. Where Dymatize performs well is consistency. Mixability is excellent. Flavor is reliable. Protein content aligns closely with label claims in independent evaluations. Overall, it's a solid product, just not necessarily the best value in today's increasingly competitive market. Number 4. Rule 1. Rule 1 takes a very different approach. Instead of flashy marketing campaigns, the company emphasizes simplicity. Many of its formulas contain very short ingredient lists. No proprietary blends, no unnecessary extras. Just whey isolate, hydrolyzed whey isolate, flavoring, and a few supporting ingredients. That's refreshing in an industry that often confuses complexity with quality. The company also provides detailed nutritional information and maintains strong manufacturing standards. Could the flavors be more exciting? Maybe. But Rule 1 seems more interested in performance than marketing. For consumers who prioritize transparency over branding, that's a meaningful difference. Number 3. Optimum Nutrition Gold Standard. If you've ever bought whey protein, you've almost certainly seen this black and gold tub. Gold Standard is one of the best-selling whey proteins in the world, and for good reason. The formula has remained remarkably consistent for years. It mixes well. It tastes good. Protein content is reliable. The company follows recognized manufacturing standards and has built decades of consumer trust. But popularity doesn't automatically mean perfection. Some flavors contain longer ingredient lists than others. Artificial sweeteners remain a deal breaker for some consumers. And as competition has increased, several newer companies now offer similar protein quality with even greater ingredient transparency. Still, Gold Standard remains one of the industry's most dependable benchmarks, not because it's perfect, because it consistently delivers what it promises. Number 2. Transparent Labs. The name tells you exactly what the company wants to be known for. Transparency. No proprietary blends, clearly disclosed ingredients, grass-fed whey, simple formulas. Instead of filling the label with marketing buzzwords, Transparent Labs focuses on showing consumers exactly what's inside every serving. That doesn't automatically make it the best protein on earth, but it does make comparison much easier. When companies openly disclose sourcing, ingredient amounts, and manufacturing practices, consumers can make informed decisions instead of relying on advertising alone. The downside? Price. Transparent labs often costs noticeably more than mass-market brands. Whether that premium is worth paying depends on what you value most. For many buyers, the added transparency justifies the additional cost. Number 1. The cheapest proprietary blend. Whey proteins. Our number 1 spot isn't a single company, it's a category, because this is where consumers lose the most money. Walk into a discount supplement store or browse online, and you'll eventually find giant tubs promising 30 grams of protein, maximum muscle growth, and professional performance at unbelievably low prices. Look closer. Many of these products rely heavily on proprietary protein blends. That means the label tells you the total amount of the blend, but not how much comes from each protein source. Is most of it whey isolate, whey concentrate, milk protein, lower-cost ingredients? You simply don't know. Some products also dedicate more space on the label to marketing claims than to explaining what's actually inside the container. A low price isn't automatically a warning sign. Neither is a proprietary blend. But when companies make it difficult for customers to understand exactly what they are buying, transparency becomes the first thing sacrificed. And in supplements, transparency is often the difference between paying for protein or paying for marketing. Now that we've looked at the products that raise the biggest questions about value, let's shift our attention to something far more useful. The 3 whey protein brands that consistently stand out for quality, transparency, and ingredient integrity. These aren't just popular. They're brands that have built their reputations by making it easier, not harder, for consumers to understand exactly what they're putting into their bodies. Before you go, remember this. The most expensive supplement isn't always the best. The biggest brand isn't always the most transparent. And the smartest purchase starts with knowing exactly what you're putting into your body. If you found this investigation helpful, give this video a like. It helps us reach more people who deserve honest, evidence-based information before they spend their money. Subscribe to Supplement Exposed and turn on notifications, because every week we investigate the supplements, vitamins, and wellness products millions of people buy, so you don't have to rely on marketing claims alone. And if you know someone who drinks whey protein every day, share this video with them. It might save them money, help them make a better choice, or simply give them information they never knew they needed. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next investigation.